if you are living in a house that have electrical wire, what I mean, if you are living in a house that have electricity, or if you are using NEPA light or generator, even solar, this video is for you. I want to tell you 5 signs, I mean 5 signs that your electrical wire need replacement. If you ignore these 5 signs, honestly, your building or your apartment is on a very high risk. So number 5 will be the one that will shock you the most. Number 1, lighting keep flickering. What does it mean for your light to keep flickering? I mean, sometimes it will go low and get higher again by itself. Sometimes it will go low and get higher again. Alright, the bulb will keep up and down. Alright, so you need to check your cable, your wiring cable. If not, it can cause fire outbreak and your building will be at risk. So number 2, burning smell. If you are in your house or you are inside your room or in your parlor watching TV and you start smelling a burning smell, all right, you don't need to keep quiet, you don't need to ignore it, you need to check immediately, because that is a very big sign. That burning smell can come from your socket, can come from your switches, even come from a distribution board. So you need to take action immediately and check where the problem is coming from and trace the cable if it is the cable that is the problem. If you ignore this, you are in very big trouble. Then number 3, frequency MCB tripping. Your MCB keep tripping off. For instance, MCB is a distribution board, alright, that all your house wiring are going to, like just like a bus bar, alright, or a junction that every or let me say plaza, that if all the buses from year to year will meet, alright, and go to a different destination. So MCB is a bus bar, alright, or a junction that all the wiring of that building meet, alright, then move to their destination, like socket, switches, and security light, even cooker unit, alright, or AC. So now, if your MCB keep tripping off, trip, you don't have to ignore that. You need to check properly what is the problem. If not, it can cause a very big problem that you will spend a lot of money. So always be on alert to check anything that happened in your building or anything that happened within your electrical accessories. Then number 4, damaged cable installations. What we mean by installation is the rubber that cover the conductor. All right, it's a rubber that cover the conductor. All right, like all the cable have insulators. Let me show you. For instance, here is a 1.5 cable. All right, this red cover that is covering this conductor, this is what they call conductor. All right, this is what they call conductor. Then this red cover is called insulators in electricity. Insulator, because it prevents electricity to shock you. All right, if this insulator start having crack or peeling in the body and exposing this conductor, which can result in electrical shock. All right, so you need to be checking your cable. If there is a crack or peel in the body, then that means the wire or the cable may have issue, which need for you to replace immediately for to avoid electrical spark or a shock to you. All right, number 5, the final, hot socket or switches. Number 5, you're charging your phone, which is normal use, and if you touch the body of your socket or switches, or it get hot, all right, or maybe your lighting point, or let me say you put on your, or let me say you put on your light, all right, then you place your hand and you experience that the switch is very hot, That is unusual because that's on a normal use, or you're charging your phone in a socket and you experience that this socket is very hot. That is something not for you to ignore it, because it may be internal fault. The cable may have issue which need to be replaced immediately. So when you experience these 5 signs, don't joke with them. Number one is lighting keep flicking. Your bulb keep a position of going low and high, going low and high. Don't ignore that, because it may cause a very big problem. All right. Then number two is burning smell. You don't need to ignore any burning smell, because that can lead to fire outbreak. It can cause fire in your building, so you don't need to ignore that. Anytime you experience or you hear a burning smell in your building, you need to check immediately. All right. Then number three, frequency MCB tripping. You put on your light and MCB trip, or you on your AC, your MCB trip off. You need to check to know what is the problem. Don't ignore that, because it can cause a very big problem. All right. Then number four, damaged cable installations. This one is very, very important, because your charger can have a damaged cable installations. So you need to check your cable before touching. If there's a crack or peel in the body, which can expose conductor and your electricity can shock you. All right, you need to save yourself, your family, and check your cable all the time. Then number five, hot socket or switches. You don't need to ignore when you experience that your socket or switches is very hot. On a normal use, you just use to charge your phone or watch TV or do any other thing, but you experience that it's very hot. You don't need to ignore that. All right. So apply these 5 steps to be checking your electrical equipment or accessories in your house, to make sure that you stay safe. All right. So this is MOTEX Electrical. We let people know about simple and basic electrical tips to enable them to stay safe, and we do all kind of electrical installation. Contact MOTEX Electrical today to join MOTEX family. MOTEX Electrical, safety face and power always. Thank you for watching.